Morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Wait, how do I do this? Today, we're going to go over division. So, like I said, we have a test coming up this week. This is just going to cover some of the basic steps. We're going to go through the 4 steps of division, and I will show you a couple different problems this time just so you can get used to seeing a few different ways that division has to be performed. So, starting out, let's make sure we get everything written down the correct way. I keep talking about that in class, how important it is to make sure we are writing out our problems the proper way because it makes solving them a whole lot easier. So for this one, we will do 850 divided by 25, so you can see what the problem will probably look like in class. Originally, will look like that. But remember, we have to make sure that we turn this into that the bracket style. In that case, 850, the dividend will be in the middle of the bracket, and 25, the divisor, will be on the outside. So I probably should have grabbed paper towels, but it's fine. We're just going to use the finger to erase today. 25 and 850. All right, so set it up this way is the best way to solve. Now, what we want to do is ask ourselves, can 25 go into each one of these digits individually? So we start out with the number 8. Can 25 go into 8? If you think about that, if you say it out loud, it makes a little bit more sense. It cannot. 8's too small of a number. So if you go on to the next digit, giving us 85, can 25 go into 85? Yes, absolutely it can. How many times? Now, this is where I'd let you all use a calculator to sort of test it out. I just know off the top of my head that 25 times 3 is 75, and that's as high as we're going to be able to go. So we're going to put a 3 right here above the 5 because that's how far over we had to move to solve. So 3 goes right up top. So far we've divided. That's the first step of division. The next is multiplication. So we multiply 3 times 25, giving us, like I said before, 75. And I know typically if we're doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, I'm telling you to line everything up from the ones column first. In division, you don't do that. You use the digits that you had to do. Use the digits from the previous step to decide where your numbers go. So because we use the 5 over here, we're making that 5 kind of like our ones column in this case. So we divided, we multiplied. Now we need to subtract. All we do to subtract is just the 85 minus the 75, giving us 10. Here you go. So divide, multiply, subtract. Last thing we do is bring down. So I usually put an underline under the number that I'm bringing down. I've also been drawing the arrows in class to help you guys just visualize it. So I'll do it here again. So that makes our 10 become a 100 because we brought that 0 down. Now, we've gone through all 4 steps. We still have to keep going because there's still numbers down here. So now we ask ourselves, how many times does 25 go into 100? And that is one of our easier ones we'll see this year. It goes in 4 times. So because I know it goes in 4 times, we put the 4 in the next place value, and we keep repeating. So we did 100 divided by 25. Now we multiply 4 times 25, giving us 100. Next step would be subtract. 100 minus 100 is 0. And then we would bring down. There's nothing left to bring down. And we have 0 down here. So therefore, our answer is 34. Now, if you want to check to make sure that's right, you just multiply. You multiply the divisor times the quotient. So you multiply the number on the outside times the answer. So 34 times 25. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 2 is 17, giving us 170 for partial product 1. 2 times 4 is 8. And 3 times 2 is 6. Add those together. We solved it. We checked our math down here, 850. That matches our dividend. Therefore, this answer is correct. So, saying this out loud, 850 divided by 25 gives us 34. All right. Let me get an eraser. I'll be right back. All right, on to our next problem. So this one we're going to do 850 divided by 20. So I want you all to remember that we are working with whole numbers in this unit, meaning our answers are not going to have decimals. So I'm going to show you an example that has a remainder instead. So let's go through this step by step like we just did. So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is, why did I put the board down? I have to keep showing it. I'm sorry. First, the second question we ask ourselves is, how many times does 20 go into 8? 8's too small of a number, so that's obviously not going to work. So then we have to ask, how many times does 20 go into 85? Again, this is a spot on the exam where you can use your calculator, or if you just want to do the math in your head, you can. You know that 20 times 4 is 80. That's as close as we're going to get without going over. Therefore, the answer right up here would be 4. So we divided. Now we multiply. 4 times 20, giving us 80. There you go. 80 comes right down here. Our next step is going to be subtraction. 85 minus 80 gives us 5. And the final part of our 4-step process here is going to be bring down. So 85 minus 80 gave us 5, but then we brought down this 0, giving us 50. So now we go back to divide. 50 divided by 20. How many times can 20 go into 50? The answer here is going to be 2. You know that 40 times 2. Nope. 20 times 2 is 40, sorry. Which is the closest we can get to 50 without going over. Therefore, the 2 gets brought up here to the top. We multiply it out. 2 times 20 is 40. We subtract, giving us 10. There's nothing else to bring down. 20 can't go into 10. Therefore, our answer is almost complete. We just take that 10, we bring it up top as a remainder, meaning the answer here is 42, remainder 10. So if we were doing decimals, the problem would keep going. But for right now, we're working strictly with whole numbers. That will change after this first exam. So we want to check ourselves on this. Like I said, we want to verify our math. And yes, you can verify using a calculator, but I still want to go through the steps to verify. So like I said before, we're going to take the quotient and multiply that by the divisor. So 42 times 20 times 2 is 4. So 42 times 20, we have a 0 right here, so we know 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 2 zeros. We have a number in the tens column that we're dividing, or we're multiplying by, so therefore we had to start out this line with a 0. Do 2 times 2, and 2 times 4, giving us 8 and 4. The 0 on the end gives us 840. Add those together, it's still 840. 840 does not equal 850. However, we still have that remainder 10. You just add the remainder back in. And for those of you following along at home, 840 plus 10 gives us 850. Therefore, we know our math is correct because we were able to verify it, and it came out equal, which is good. All right. I believe that should wrap everything up. Again, right now we're just focusing on whole numbers. So some of these steps will change, but I'll be sure to make new videos about that. I appreciate you guys watching, and let me know if you have any questions.